What's up you guys, and welcome back to another Reddit reading video. In light of the holiday spirit, we're going to be doing a Christmas revenge. All Christmas stories on all r/ProRevenge. Let's get into it, ho 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 style. So you want me to fire everyone at the Christmas party? Okay then. Many years ago, early 1980s, I worked for a company that did what I call mall molesting. They did market research surveys in the mall and were always stopping people to ask questions, etc. The company was run by 3 older women who had started it in their kitchen. They were opinionated, and no one had cared about anything but money. Part of this included paying employees not by the hour, but by the survey, which was against labor rules as it never matched the basic hourly wage. This is important. Christmas came. We were planning our employee party when one of the owners called and told us that in order to avoid paying bonuses, we were to fire everyone at the party and then hire back the ones that we liked after the new year. We, the other managers and I, talked about it. And then I called the Federal Bureau of Labor, who had been trying to get information for the employee pay for several years, but had always been turned away. I had them come to the back door and then let them into the file room, and then showed them the boxes. I then said I had things to do in the front and would be back later, and went to the front desk to finish the paperwork I needed. Said paperwork? A blow up of Santa going down a chimney with Merry effing Christmas typed across it. All of the management resignations and the FedEx envelope that would hold our keys and said paperwork. Labor guy finished what he needed to do, we locked up, sent the package which was timed to arrive at the Christmas party, and walked away. The company ended up spending about $250,000 in reimbursements and fines for the labor problem. That's exactly what shady businesses like this get. That's it's kind of a problem with small businesses. Some of them can be pretty shady and try to do things off the cuff to save their own pockets and not trying to pay out their employees or taxes or anything like that. Not saying that big companies don't do that too. Now, but what kind of ho would fire everyone at a Christmas party? How rude. You couldn't do it like a couple days after Christmas or something? And then hire them on the new year? I don't understand where they're saving money at. I don't know if maybe because of pay time off or something like that. But why would you come back to a business like this where you're like, I can get fired at any time at a freaking Christmas party along with the rest of everyone else? Terrible business. 0 to 10. Exposing my sister-in-law over her hating my family with a bit of help from her Father Christmas. Throwaway because this doesn't need linking to anything or anyone else. Apologies for the long length. My twin brother, 25, has been with his wife since we were 15, and they've been married for the last year. Since day one, my sister-in-law hasn't been a fan of my family. She and my brother met doing the same after-school club, a club that my best friend happened to also be in. She always used to say that my sister-in-law always complained about my family, my mother, my father, and myself, and how we all treated her terribly. Though when she asked, she would never go into detail, because there was no detail. In fact, for the first few years of their relationship, my sister-in-law was a daughter my mother wished she had had, which strained our relationship, unsurprisingly, but not the time for that. She was happy enough to be around us, and my parents always made sure to include her on the family occasions, such as our birthdays. Since we're all like 15 and moody teenagers, if it ever comes up in conversation, my brother sulking about something and throwing out a line about how he understands why his girlfriend never wants to be around, or me and my mother arguing and me saying something about how girlfriend hates her, it's not taken as gospel. The years go by and my brother and sister-in-law stay together through universities 150 miles apart and move in together at about the 6-year mark of their relationship. I lived at home for a year after my brother moved out, and during that time I witnessed numerous occasions of my brother being around for dinner that both him and his girlfriend have been invited to, with just him attending for a variety of cheap excuses that have been cut short because sister-in-law rings my brother up telling him he has to come home because of X, Y, and Z. While some of these may have been genuine, every time he was around over half an hour, he got the calls and messages saying that her world was imploding if she didn't come home right this instant. I think my parents politely excused the behavior as young love because it was an obvious shun. My brother especially was cut off. Every month, she'd invite sister-in-law out for a girls' day, either with or without me or other family members, and was always told no. After the wedding, which none of our side of the family was allowed to be involved in, not an issue though, it was hurtful that we were told that nothing family was happening. Examples, dancing, speeches, but in fact were only on the sister-in-law side of the family while we just sat there awkwardly. I got a few messages from mutual friends of myself and my brother asking what the drama was between us and the sister-in-law, who had evidently been telling people that all night we had done awful things throughout the wedding process, and her new husband were on the verge of going no contact with us, something we hadn't heard at all from my brother or her, since we were very much still in contact with him, well, him, A couple had thought it was odd that she was saying this, and forwarded screenshots of sister-in-law telling them awful stories of complete lies about things that happened between her and us. My favorite was the supposed time when my father, the most placid man in Britain, stormed around their house demanding that they give him hundreds in cash to cover his gambling debts, while my mother threw salt around the garden trying to kill the grass. No reason for this given. My father has never gambled anything more than a couple of pounds on a lottery. They don't even have grass around their house to begin with. And most of all, my parents were both out of the country at the time that the sister-in-law sent the "OMG, you will not believe what brother's family just did" message to at least 2 of my friends. I'm not a petty person, and I didn't go around all guns a-blazing, but the next time I saw my parents, I said that it seemed like the sister-in-law was spreading potentially harmful lies. They did both say that they knew that sister-in-law didn't seem to like them, but decided many years ago to try and kill her with kindness, if only not to give her real ammunition against them. I decided to sit on what I had evidence-wise, unless sister-in-law did something major. The major came over Christmas. For years and years, my brother and sister-in-law had rotated between her family and my family. This year was supposed to be the day with my family. They live in the same town as both of their families, so it wouldn't be a massive journey for anyone to go anywhere. I live with my partner about a half an hour from my family, and we were also going to be spending the lunch with my family. Partner's family are from a country who do their main Christmas stuff on Christmas Eve, so we were seeing both sets of family over the period. We get there bright and early on Christmas Day to find her brother there, alone. I ask where her sister-in-law is, and I'm told that she's having family emergency, but will be over before the meal. No issues there. Family emergency or not, we all get prepping the meal. My brother's phone starts ringing the whole time. He stops answering after a period of time, and a particularly long call prior to that went outside for, and confirms that it's sister-in-law. However, it's just her phone messing up and consistently calling the last number on the call list. A bit of junk excuse, well whatever. The ringing eventually stops. By this point, my brother's off playing with my dad's old cars and everything's in the oven, so we chill out for a while and look on social media at the easy cheesy Christmas present post. Myself and my partner are just scrolling away, comparing friends' presents, when my partner's screen comes up with a post by sister-in-law into a Facebook group called something like Murderous Mothers-in-Law Support Group. We assumed that we were blocked from seeing the sister-in-law's post, but she had let my partner slip through the net. It had only been posted about 5 minutes before. The post went something like this: "Husband is forcing me to go to his horrid family's Christmas dinner. They make me do all the cooking on my own, but tell me it's horrible. His sister's even assaulted me the last time I went to their house, and she's been kicked out of rehab, so she's back there again. I'm scared that every day husband is going to believe their lies about me and leave me. I'd rather kill myself than do this. Can I get some support, ladies?" Utter poop. We all cook, with my father doing the lion's share if anyone could be considered as doing more than average. I've never been addicted to any substance, and like my parents had said before, they never said a cross word about sister-in-law to anyone, so she couldn't claim they did. This was it for me. I excused myself and went up to the office to print off copies of the message she had sent to friends previously, and the post of the group that my partner screenshot at my request. I printed enough copies for everyone at the table, 10 were in there total, and wrapped them all up in groups. I then stuck some labels onto them, as being from Father Christmas. I slipped them downstairs and put them under the tree, claiming there were some more gifts I had found, just to say that everyone there was an adult, so there wouldn't be any child there thinking Father Christmas was a jerkhole. The day continues. Sister-in-law arrives and apologizes for the delay. Everyone says that it's not a problem, and the food gets cooked, served, and eaten. We've always opened presents after lunch, so everyone gets set up with each other's presents, as well as the mystery Father Christmas present that everyone seemed to get. Everyone eventually opened the Father Christmas presents and started to read, before asking sister-in-law what she means by being a horrid family. My parents, brother, and sister-in-law all quickly open theirs and read them through. Sister-in-law goes as white as a sheet and starts asking him who did this, but my brother tells her that she brought this on herself and she's gone too far. My parents say nothing to anyone, and eventually sister-in-law excuses herself. My brother says that since the day they started dating, she decided that our family hate her and that she spent years trying to prove it, ranging from the order their names are written in cards to the number of potatoes she served at a meal. She obviously has no evidence since there is none. My brother had no clue about the messages or Facebook groups, but expected there to be many more. He decided to leave, apologize, and got in contact about half an hour later, saying that we were both at home and stable, since the kill myself part had worried my brother especially. I kept quiet about my role in this until everyone else had left. My mother suspected it was me, but said she was happy that it would actually be out in the open. I apologized profusely for ruining the day before we left. None of this was my finest moment, which I'm sure some of you reading will agree with. My brother has been in contact with my parents and me to further apologize for everything sister-in-law has said and done, and said he wasn't making any rash decisions yet, but they needed to sit and talk about everything. I'm sure some people think that this is sympathetic of a bigger issue of control concerning my brother and his life and might be justifying sister-in-law's views on us, but I did this more out of anger at the situation more than the person herself. And this is the first and only instance of my family being negative to her. I hope this has made her think about her choices and that she can work on reasoning and that she can work on the reason on why she lied to herself and others for so many years. Oh my goodness, that's a lot to unpack right there. First of all, this was 11 months ago. This was last Christmas, but my God, she is like a master manipulator. You ever heard of those people that just manipulate the person that they quote unquote love to try and do everything they say? You can tell this is one of those people just fabricating lies to make up and trying to get everyone on her side, no matter who it is, trying to get sympathy. I've been with someone like that. You don't want to be with nothing like that. That is a terrible life to live. She seems like a horrific person, someone that you have to pawn off on someone else to get rid of her. I promise you, if they decided to get a divorce, she's gonna try and ruin that man's life, and he probably knows that too. You have to be an extremely docile person to try and deal with someone like that, or extremely accepting of someone else's flaws. I feel bad for that man. I feel bad for that entire family. The only person I do not feel bad is for that woman. Hopefully that guy gets a divorce. He deserves a break after 15 years of being with this ho 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 Santa style. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this Christmas revenge story. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you guys have an awesome Christmas and have fun opening presents. If you guys don't celebrate Christmas, then have a happy Kwanzaa, happy holidays, whatever you guys got going on. Everyone's different. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching and goodbye, my lovelies.